How's it going, everyone? It's Sam. Crypto is down, and we have another big seller. It's not GBTC, it's not FTX. I want to talk about that. And to be clear, this is going to sound a little bit bearish at first because, the price is down. I'm reporting on the news. Something is pushing the price down. But I am very bullish long term. So keep that in mind. I want to talk about what's happening in the market, take a look at some charts, and talk to you about something that I've really wanted to buy for a while. But I tried to build a position in it a while ago. I couldn't get enough cash in, but they have something big happening today which could let me buy a bit. If you don't mind, like I said, hit subscribe, turn on the bell notification underneath the video so you can see future videos just like this one, because we're going to make videos whether the market is down or up. I'm not nitpicking only good days like some people do here. There's also a link down there to HGAaccess, where you can get information you can't get anywhere else from myself and a bunch of other YouTubers as well. We do live streams about once every week and a half. We also make exclusive videos. We make exclusive posts on cryptos that we're looking at. So definitely check that out. There's also a link down there to Margex in case you want to trade cryptocurrency on leverage. This is a really interesting thing when the market is falling down because, one, you can make money from actually short selling the market. Or from shorting the market. And then you can also make money in this little in-between time where we just chop back and forth. You can play some choppiness. And if you nail the bottom, you can make a lot of money. You're going to see a lot of influencers come out in the next couple of weeks if we move back up and say that they nailed the bottom and they're going to show their 35x profit, their 20x profit, their 5x profit, all that kind of stuff. So definitely check out the link underneath the video to this. You can trade all different kinds of cryptocurrencies and you get a deposit bonus as well. Now, we do have some liquidations right now. Bitcoin, crypto, just in general, ETH, Solana, all are getting some liquidations. About 300 million of longs liquidated in the last 24 hours. Now, that's not the majority of why we're falling down right now, in my opinion. I mean, we're down 5%. 300 million wouldn't cause us to go down quite this far. And we talked about part of this yesterday, that FTX was selling a bunch of GBTC, which when they sell GBTC, now that causes GBTC to sell Bitcoin. So FTX is the gift that keeps on giving. But we have a new seller, a new source of FUD. But again, this is still something that we are looking at just yesterday. So people are processing this. People got home from their jobs, took a look at this, and are maybe a little bit freaked out. But the selling should be done from FTX because they don't have any GBTC left. They sold 22 million shares, or $1 billion. But now we have news that Mt. Gox is confirming creditors' Bitcoin addresses. This is another thing that just continues to be an overhang in the cryptocurrency market. I think these things just finishing up are good. Like Mt. Gox will be done here in the next probably year, maybe, knock on wood. But apparently they are confirming addresses. If you don't know about this, Mt. Gox was an exchange that went down 10 years ago. And since then, they've been trying to pay out creditors or trying to figure out where some of the crypto went and then inching forward. So they are apparently getting some emails from people or trying to email people about their addresses. And the thought process is right now that they're going to distribute about 200,000 Bitcoin in the next 2 months. This is in addition to 600K plus GBTC repricing. So it looks like they're going to distribute a lot of Bitcoin here soon. Who knows if this actually happens on time? They've pushed back dates for years and years and years, but this does always seem to be a source of FUD or a source of fear among investors that you're just going to get dumped on by someone that has 10,000 Bitcoin, 20,000 Bitcoin, someone that's not had their Bitcoin for a long time. And I don't want to spend too long on this because we've talked about it a lot on the channel before. I do think there's something to be said, though, for the fact that Bitcoin's price is down. These people have been forced to hold Bitcoin for a very long time. They are probably crypto natives. They probably feel very strongly about Bitcoin, just kind of feel crappy that they didn't self-custody it. I wouldn't be surprised if some of them held on. I mean, imagine after 10 years, you get 10,000 Bitcoin back, $38 million. You go and sell it. And then within 6 months, You know that the halving is going to happen. You know that the Fed's going to start lowering rates, but you sell anyways. And then within 6 months, we hit 70,000, 100,000, and you just lost out on $60 million. The only time that you'll ever make that amount of money. I would not be surprised if a good number of these people held on and then started to distribute in the next bull market. Or maybe they sell 10 or 20%, take away a couple $1 million, right? And then they sell the majority of it in the next bull market. I think of this as something where most people will probably hold. Maybe there'll be some profit taking right at first, but then most people will probably hold, and they might be just a little bit more aggressive, I suppose, selling in the next bull market just to make sure that they don't miss, the run up. They might sell a little bit more than they typically would if you're just someone that has 1 or 2 Bitcoin. Now, Bitcoin's price has been coming down, as I said. We're around 38K. Now, keep in mind, we were here 2 months ago, less than 2 months ago, and people were excited. This was a bullish price. It all just depends on where you've been recently. Then we had been in the $30,000 range. So moving up to 38K was super bullish. Now, this pullback, still just a bit of a pullback. This is natural. We're down 25% maybe from the top, 20%. So this is something that's actually healthy for the market. I know it sounds crazy, but it is something that's healthy for the market to flush out a little bit of leverage, to get out the weak hands, and then to turn around. So I would not be surprised, if we're around this point when we flip back bullish. We had some consolidation in there. I mean, it was pretty much just chopping us up. But some people are looking at the $32,000 range because that's where we got last rejected. I don't think we'll pull back that far, but who knows? It's always a possibility. That's why I do talk about having cash, even if I'm talking about buying crypto. And you can see here, dominance continues to move up. We just are around 51.6%, double bouncing off that bottom here. I'm going to continue to pay attention to this as well. Maybe we'll see a bit of a rally here. And then we also have ETH BTC starting to fall down again. If we fall against this trend line and then bounce up, I would not be surprised. You can see here, this was a trend line that we bounced against for a year and a half, all the way back to mid-2022. So this seems to be pretty interesting, a thing that a lot of people are paying attention to, pretty important. So I'm going to continue to see if we break down below this or if we just use it as a support. Solana also continues to fall, around $80 right now. Maybe we see a little bit of a bounce around this $75 mark, somewhere in there, where we had seen some previous support and maybe a little bit of resistance here. Otherwise, we could fall down a little bit. If we continue to fall down, we did see some resistance around 49.50. That's a big round number. If we fell down there, that is a buying opportunity in my opinion. And maybe even before that, obviously, if we continue to have a lot of people interested in Solana, it's probably going to do very well in the next bull market, and I would not be surprised if it does do really well. I actually covered a lot of cryptos yesterday in my video talking about cryptos that I'm looking to buy. I can put that on the end screen in case you want to know more cryptos, some smaller cap cryptos yet that I think have a lot of potential. There is one thing that I have wanted to buy though. I built out a position that was just too small. I couldn't buy fast enough, and then it raced up maybe 6 months ago or a year ago. It's actually something not in crypto. It's a stock. And it's Netflix. Netflix has earnings today. I bought after an earnings report that caused the stock to actually fall down. It was before this. Maybe it was around here. But anyways, I bought because I really think that they have strong cash flows. They've been growing like crazy. They've been winning the race for streamers. And in case you didn't know, I do buy stocks every single week too. So I built out this position. It was too small. It raced up. I sold it just to keep my positions a little bit larger. I don't like to have small positions because then it takes time away from focusing on the bigger ones. But they are making a ton of moves recently. They just bought the rights to WWE's Raw for their first big live event. They also have their ad tier now. They've had that for a little while as well. And I think they're crushing it as a company. So I'm going to be watching this. If there's some weakness after their earnings today, I might be buying some of this. Now, if you want to know what I'm buying, you can check out the link to Patreon underneath the video. If you want to know cryptos that I'm paying attention to and what other influencers are paying attention to, because again, we get reached out to by a lot of companies. We sort through crypto all day long. You can check out the link to HGAccess. There's also a link down there to Margex as well. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. I will see you in the next video. Of course, always do your own due diligence. Let me be clear too. Actually, I should say this before I go. I'm very bullish on crypto. I like when we see pullbacks. I would not like if we just continue to race up forever. That feels awesome. There's a lot of dopamine, right? But it's not good for the long term of our bags. It's just unhealthy. We would see massive, massive pullbacks. Like if you think this is a big pullback, imagine if we went straight up to 100K the way that we were going before. Like if next month we were at 100K, that would be unhealthy. There'd be a lot of people that had bought within the last month that might be taking profits. And then if you're not one of the people dumping on other people, you're going to get screwed, right? We want people that jump in. Maybe they have a bit of a pullback and they're able to buy some more, and then they hold for months, years, etc. We want healthy price action. Also, one other thing to consider if you're looking at buying in right now, well, if you bought in right now, let's say we're at 40,000 instead of 38.9, just to make the math easy. If we're at 40,000 and we go back up to 50,000, you get a 25% gain. If you had bought at 50,000 and now we're down to 40,000, you only lost 20%. So when the price comes down like this, it is an opportunity to get outsized returns. And everyone wants to buy when the price is moving up. Everyone feels like they're going to retire soon. Everyone is so hyped up about it. But if you can't handle this bit of volatility, you really don't deserve to make those huge gains. You get crypto at the price you deserve. You get the gains that you deserve. So just keep calm. We'll continue to make it through. I'm going to continue to make videos every single day, probably multiple videos on the days of the week. I will continue to make multiple videos. Of course, always do your own research. Again, you can check out the links underneath the video. I'll see you in the next one.